is showing that there is 1.8 amp running through it. It's burning now. Of course, that means 4 watts of power that burns my resistor. You can buy higher power shunts that are made for this purpose. But why pay so much when you can make a relatively accurate shunt yourself? You just need some length of wire. Every wire has a known resistance. If you search Wikipedia for AWG or American wire gauge, you will find a table showing information for every wire size, such as its resistance per length and diameter and such. And of course there are other standards too, like British standard wire gauge. So basically, using a shunt resistor, you are generating a voltage drop that's not very desirable. Why? Because then you are dropping your supply voltage level by that much, which will affect the current running through the load. But if you keep that voltage drop small or compensate for it by increasing the supply voltage, then you're fine. I like to keep my shunt maximum voltage small. To start, I like to have only 100 millivolts for a maximum of 1 amp, which means around 100 milliohms. Regular multimeters are no good to measure such low resistances, but they can measure voltage and current much more accurately. What I have here is a 22 gauge wire, which is around 53 milliohms per meter, and so I would need around 2 meters of this wire. Now I set my power supply to output 1 amp accurately, and I run the 1 amp of current through my 2 meter length of wire, and I measure the voltage across it. And I have to read 100 millivolts, but you see I'm reading a bit off. So I stripped some length of wire and I'm gonna slide my probe across it. And you see, as I slide, the voltage starts dropping. I'll keep going until I get exactly 100 millivolts, right there. This means that to have exactly 100 milliohms, I have to measure exactly between these two probe points. So I mark them. I'll solder wires to the 2 spots I marked on my shunt wire, and I measure the voltage between these 2 wires. The length of the measurement wire is not important because there is no current running through it. Now I'll wind my wire like this so it takes less space. This is bad because I'm making an inductor. If I try to measure higher frequency AC spikes or transients, this will filter them. It's easy to solve though. First I bend the wire at the center, and then I wind it like this. This will remove the inductance. You think I'm joking? No. If I bend the wire like this and send the current in, on the top wire it creates fields like this, and when it returns on the bottom wire it creates fields the opposite way, and the fields cancel each other, so no inductance is created. Elementary. So here's the shunt. Now let's do a comparison between readings of the supply's ammeter and our shunt. Who set everything at maximum? I guess I did. What can I say? I like extreme shit. So here we are. I set the current to 100 milliamps and you can see that the supply can't show it accurately, but the shunt can. That 10 millivolt voltage times 10 is the current running through the shunt, which is 100 milliamps. And if I change the current, our reading is still pretty accurate.
Hey, what's up, my friend Calic and I here. In a moment, I'm gonna step into my office here at my home and pull out my computer and show you exactly, how it is that I went from barely scraping by working in a coffee shop to creating a life that I love, that revolves around the things that I'm passionate about. Before we get into that though, can I just be perfectly honest with you? Anyone who tells you that wealth accumulation is easy, well, they're flat out lying to you. There's millionaires running around the internet talking about how they have a system that you can duplicate, and really what they're doing is selling a pipe dream. And anyone who flashes their Lamborghini and fancy cars with every chance that they get, while also saying that those things aren't important to them, well, they're full of you-know-what. You see, what these people are doing is attempting to prey on our most primitive desire, the desire for life to be easy. But the fact of the matter is that life, love, health, wealth, these things were never designed to be easy, because you're not here for easy. Instead, you're here to grow, learn, and be challenged so that you can become everything that you're capable of becoming. I like the way that Tony Robbins says it best. He says, if you want the key to happiness, I can sum it up for you in one word: progress. You see, there are no shortcuts, because whatever we earn in life, it will always be related to 2 things: the skills that we have and the demand for those skills in the marketplace. And that's the good news, because it means that in any area of your life where you're not completely fulfilled, well, you're probably just a few simple to understand skills away from having exactly what it is that you desire. Now, I'm going to step into my office here. And like I said, I'm going to pull out my computer and show you exactly what I've been up to over the last few years. And again, I want to remind you, I said, success isn't easy, but that doesn't mean that it might not be easier than whatever it is that you're doing right now. And you might be wondering, hey, Cal, this all sounds good, but is it going to work for me? Well, the truth is, I don't know, because only you can decide that. But it probably can't hurt to take a peek, right? So let's get started. All right, so here we are in my home office, as you can probably tell. And as you can also probably tell, I've kind of changed it up a little bit, just kind of, changing pace as we go through this exciting content. And as you continue to stick with me here, what I'm going to do is completely demystify for you how it is that real, average, ordinary people all around the world are earning a real income over the internet, right? And I'm even going to show you how to get free training that'll help you put all of what you're about to discover together, okay? So, and I want to say right up front that some of what I'm about to show you might be a little bit confusing at first. However, I promise you, as you continue to stick with me all the way up until the end of this video, everything is going to come together for you, and you're probably going to be pretty shocked at how real and simple this all is, all right? So stick with me here. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few websites, okay, that you're probably familiar with. So here's one that you've probably heard of before, Best Buy, right? One of the biggest brands in the world. Well, most people don't even know that if you scrolled all the way down to the bottom of the Best Buy website, you'll see a tab called Partnerships, and you'll see a little link down here.
I'm Daniel Bogdanoff, streaming live from Keysite, Colorado Springs, and we are so excited Wave is finally here. That's what all this is behind me. The team's been working really hard to make this event happen. Before we get rolling, make sure you go register for the event at wave.keysite.com.
Is there a piece of paper that I could use? Because I didn't wipe those. I'd really like to wipe those.
I got it. I have more firm paper. Aaron gets to listen to me sort my coffee.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Oh, hey Matt, can you log into the chat? There are a bunch of people already on. There have been people on the live stream since like 6:30.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
People like us.
I guess so.
For some odd reason.
Okay, it's fine. Never mind. We're good.
Hey Leah, could you do us a favor?
Yes.
If I sent you something, could you print a couple copies of it? Okay. Attach file. Okay, I sent it, Leah.
Why does it disappear?
Why is what not there?
The live stream? The event?
That's what I came to ask you about.
I don't know, I just looked at it and it's gone.
What?
What happened? What did we do? Thank you.
It wasn't. Okay.
It was there like, what the hell?
It's gone.